Hello and thanks for joining Outdoor Dad 1. We're going to take a look at the Beretta 686 Silver Pigeon Sporting, the competition version of this gun in 410, my favourite calibre. Let's get into it. As you can see, we've got the usual hard blue case, 10-year warranty. Now I have had this gun out, I have been using it, but I've put it back in its packaging so you can see how it comes. Nicely done with some little Beretta bags. So we'll slide her out of there and put it together. There we go. Nicely blued barrels. Lovely shaped forend, we'll get into that later. Here's the stock. Quite an ordinary piece of wood really, but more than sufficient. I have to say I have put some oil on this, quite an open grain from the factory, so it does look a little bit better now it's had a bit on, and they always look better with time. And I have to say one of my favourite parts of this gun is the palm swell, the way it fits the hand. This really is probably one of the main reasons that I bought this gun. Is I've always wanted one. I wanted a 410 as a child. I used to look in the magazines and there was things like Bettinzollis and Zabalas, but really a 410 Beretta as a child and for my parents was unobtainable. So as an adult I've treated myself to one, and I have to say I'm more than happy with this one. Right, now then, so let's get into what we've got. So obviously we've got the main gun here and the barrels and the forend, and we've also got this little plastic case of accessories. So in here we've got, well, let's start with these little beauties. These absolutely, beautifully made, I have to say. These are nicely made chokes, because she's a multi-choke. So they're the spare chokes. Quite a good choke key. Nice to use, nothing fancy, but usable. The Beretta oil, that'll probably stay in there forever. Here we have the Allen key wrench and the spacers. They're for the Beretta B-Fast adjustable comb, which is another reason for purchasing this beautiful 410. So I've adjusted it for myself. We've got the micro core pad at the rear. These are obviously available in different sizes, and it may seem like something of nothing, the pad on the back of your shotgun, but whether you're clay shooting or game shooting, upland shooting, if this is snagging on your vest or your coat that you're wearing, it can really detract from the gun. And obviously Beretta have been doing this, the company's been going since 1525, continuously. Yeah, they know how to put a nice butt pad on and something that works. The checkering is laser cut. Now on some new guns they're extremely sharp and not all that pleasant. This is, it's nice enough, it suits the purpose. It's certainly not uncomfortable. It's not like a piece of sandpaper like some checkering can be. The fit to the action wood to metal fit is very good indeed, as you would expect for a 680 Beretta. Now, in my opinion, the 680 Beretta is possibly, I'm going to say it, one of the best shotguns the world has ever known. Amazingly reliable, very nice lines, fantastic warranty, fantastic company. There is other stuff out there, but when push comes to shove, if you want a gun that you know is going to go off each time you pull the trigger, if ever the unlikely event that you didn't have or did have a problem, every gun shop is going to have the parts and is going to be able to rectify it for you. I think in my entire time of shooting Berettas, my very first Beretta was a 686 Special 12 gauge that I had in 1992. It already had many thousands of rounds through it, and of all the Berettas we've ever had, I think that one had an ejector put in it, which was an incredibly simple affair, done at my local gun shop, gun straight back to me. Yeah, what more could you ask for? So I think we'll clip it together and have a feel of it in one piece. The barrels, really nice finish, solid mid-rib. As you can see, quite a wide rib. Now, when I got this gun, it had rather a large foresight. In fact, it's over here, a white one, like a ping pong ball on the end of the barrel, really. So I've removed that and put something that I'm a bit more used to. And I think when it comes to your gun, you know, all this is quite readily available. You've got an adjustable stock, adjust it so it fits you. If you don't like the bead on the end, either remove it or swap it for one that you do like. But I've got this gun set up the way I like it. And I have to say, the finish, the bluing, the file cut on the rib, on some guns that can be a bit rough, like the checkering, a bit too rough. If you've got a woolen bag, every time you take the gun out, it's got half a pound of fur stuck on it. But these obviously are finished very nice. So we're just going to gently clip it together. Just like that. Yeah. Goes together like a dream. Click it together. Beautiful. So, balance. Clay gun, quite important. Although I have used this and I've bought this to shoot game as well as clays, I would think she's probably, look at that, absolutely, I tell you, they know how to make a gun. Really, I suppose Beretta, everybody knows about him. People, I think, they get a bit underwhelmed by him because they see so many of them. And I don't know, maybe some people don't have the same passion for them, but I've got many guns. But as a young man growing up, I always wanted a 410 on a lovely action like this. And like I say, a bit out of reach for me and my parents. And I've treated myself to this. And I've been to Churchill's and we've shot the 410 championship with it. Ammunition's important, we'll get onto that in a minute. But yes, the enjoyment from shooting a sub gauge, a 410, is yeah, it's not to be sniffed at. I think if anyone gets the chance to try it, they should. Obviously, there's cheaper guns. This isn't a cheap gun by any stretch, and there's definitely dearer ones. But I would definitely say, you know, you can have a Coffs or something like that. But if you get the chance to have a 410 and to shoot some competition, can guarantee you'll really enjoy it. You'll have time of your life with it. And some of these events, these sub-gauge ones, the crowd that go, you know, everybody's there to have fun, and they're great. And when it comes to, say, upland hunting, or in the UK here, walked up, this gun weighs £7, 2 ounces, which for a 410 is quite a lot, I suppose. I'm an adult. I did try and calm myself that this gun was for my daughter originally, but yes, she's 7 years old, and I don't think that's going to be the gun for her, but we can always get her something nice. Yeah, I've been to Wales on walked up days with it. Like I say, ammunition is important. The Hull 3-inch high pheasants, for pheasants, shooting pheasants. I have had some absolutely cracking birds with this. I've shot some lovely clays. I've shot some great scores. I'm a B-class shooter, you know, I'm not world champion. But I tell you what, I'm not far behind where I am with my 12 ball when I go out with it. Yeah, so let's work as well. I'll tell you what, let's have a quick look. Let's just have a quick look at the big fast system. It's not a major job to pop it off. We'll just get the Allen wrench out. Something else that's nice, you know, that fits nice. It's a nice little thing. And there she goes. Just take that off and show it to you. Now, that is a nice bit of gun making. The finish on that, could you want any more? I doubt it. Perfect for the job. So I'm just going to carefully knit this back up now. And remember, we're not putting the anchor on a battleship. We don't need to tighten this that tight that we strip anything. Yeah, nice little key. Put that back in its lovely little box. Beautiful. So yeah, wood. Fairly plain. Not sure what grade it is. There's no fiddle back in here or anything like that, but I don't like overly light wood. I think this is really nice, and to be honest, the bit of oil that I've put on has made a huge difference, but I think Beretta could definitely improve. I suppose it all comes down to price and what people are willing to pay at the price point, but some other manufacturers like Guarini, yeah, the wood does really stand out. And on this gun, it is perfectly acceptable. I enjoy taking it out. People have commented it's a nice gun. I think it's really nice. So this is a manual safety. You know, quite like a manual safety. Growing up as a young lad, we always had automatic safeties on the guns that were handed down to me, I suppose. Yeah, I was a bit dubious really of an auto safety in the field, but I think with the safe handling of the gun, making sure it's broken, a lot of the time you can walk around with it broken and the safety off. Closing the gun when you're ready to fire. I don't think really good gun handling, a manual safe is not the end of the world, whether you be on a driven shoot, a clay pigeon shoot, or a walked up day. Obviously, awareness of what you're doing is key, and where the business end's pointing. Yeah, Yes, we've got the selective safety. Yeah, nicely done. It's not too, some people, I think, yeah, they make a big fuss about selectors on safeties. I think this is quite neat enough for you not really to pay any attention. Quite like a selector. Not necessarily on the 410, the patterns are pretty tight, the constriction's tight at the end of the barrel anyway, so. But sometimes on a long bird, if I was shooting a long bird and say a rabbit in close at the clay ground, I might want the heavier choke first, and then the open choke on the second barrel. Obviously the selector enables you to choose. We've got the gold wash trigger. You can take it or leave it, that, to be honest. I think Beretta have had them on since I can remember, certainly since the 90s. Yes, we've talked about the wood to metal finish. Yeah. So we've got written on the bottom here, 686 Silver Pigeon 1, the Beretta Trident. Nice floral pattern there on the trigger guard. Bit more there on the 410. Like I say, this palm swells. Absolutely makes this gun, to be honest. The adjustable cone, if I put on some weight, I can lower it. I can move it to wherever, whatever happens to me, I can make this gun fit me. Now I did notice it has got normal steel proof, which I wasn't sure of till recently. But I'll look at the proof marks for that. Yeah. Obviously they've kept this solid to add a bit of weight into the barrels. Like I say, yeah, £7, 2 ounces. What a lovely little gun. Now then, Beretta triggers. In the past, people have said that there's quite a lot of creep in Beretta triggers. Now I find the triggers on this Beretta, and I've got to say, it's the most modern Beretta that I've ever had. The triggers, I've got my snap caps here. There's a couple of little things that I bought to make this gun, well, to mess around with it really and make it what I wanted. I've got myself one of Beretta's spacers. Can just pop that in if I want 1/2 inch at the back, and I've tried it with that in. In fact, when I was at Churchill's, I shot with that in. And also, I got myself some longer post because I wanted to try the comb even higher than it already was. Yeah, they're available from Beretta. Put them straight in with the lovely Allen key wrench. Like I say, I've swapped the bead, the ping pong balls off. Got myself a nice pair of snap caps to bop in there. When we put it away, we know we can put it away without the tension on the springs. And the trigger on this gun is perfectly fine for game shooting. £4, 2 ounces on both pulls, and the least creep I've ever had on a Beretta. Yeah, absolutely. There she goes twice. Ejects well. Now there is something I've noticed, depending on how much money you spend on your 410 cartridges, is how well the cases eject. Not all 410 cartridge cases seem to be the same, and some of them are a bit naff. The cheaper you go, as anything, the more naff it is. Yeah. Now the forend, lovely shape. A lot of people not loving the snarbles these days. I think they've very much gone out of fashion. But the shape of this forend, the way the gun comes up is lovely. I think Beretta have made a really nice gun. Now the engravings obviously changed with this newer model. We've got the trident there. I don't think the engraving's as deep as it has been in the past, and some nice floral pattern on the top lever. Always like these fences on the Berettas. Always reminds me of a more expensive gun. Yeah, I think when we talk about, yeah, ultimately every shot, it needs to go off when you want it to go off. It needs to be reliable, needs to hold its value. I think this is an absolute classic, a classic of design. Not just in guns, this is a beautiful piece of design. And really, I'm going to compare it to a Boss & Co. When it comes to gun making, I think truly, when push comes to shove, you're anywhere in the world and you either wanted to put some game on your plate or know that the trigger was going to go off on a deciding bird, your money's on the Beretta every time. I like it. Yeah. What else can I tell you about it? 3-inch Magnum proof. We've got sporting written on the top of the barrels here. And then I think when I took it to pieces the other day, a gun should come to pieces and go back together, and without smashing it to pieces, being rough with it. Should have put my glasses on for this. But we have got a CIP-S, not a fleur-de-lis, an S. So that's standard steel. And I think the Americans are going to lead the way on non-toxic shot, possibly for the sub gauges, with them being what can we say, a lot more popular in the US and A as in the UK. Well, the UK, we are definitely heading to the non-toxic route. Yeah, so what else can we say about this? I think we've talked about the gun, we've talked about, the case. I don't think it's an airport one, it hasn't got any locks on, but I'm sure you might have other guns that have got, we don't necessarily get on the airplane with them all the time. Yeah, I think it's nicely done. Good warranty with the Beretta. 10 years. Not that you probably need it. I wouldn't have thought so. I never have done. Right, now then. Ammunition. Let's talk a little bit about ammunition. Let's gently sit that down there. These Fiocchis, plastic wad is the only drawback. These are 8s, 3-inch plastic wad. Oh, 18 gram. I shot these at Churchill's. They are fabulous. A few more pellets with them being 8s. Brilliant. The only drawback is I don't use them for upland, walked up hunting, because I don't want to decorate the countryside in plastic wads, to be honest. Plus, if you pick up your empty cases and you've not decorated everywhere with plastic wads, and somebody has, you might know if there's a poacher or somebody else who shouldn't be there. But for the clay pigeons, on a registered shoot, you can shoot plastic wads. These are fabulous, dead consistent. Not all 410 cartridges, it would seem. If you've got a box of 25, you might have one weaker one. Never had a problem with these Fiocchis. Shame they're not a fibre wad. Love those. Now then, my go-to cartridge, these Hull High Pheasant. Now these are 6s. These are what I've been shooting game with. And when it comes to good clean kills, not into wounding things, sensible rangers, we're shooting a 410. You know, we're not going to Wales and shooting at a 60-yard pheasant. We wouldn't want to. These 6s, 3-inch, 18-gram hulls are absolutely stupendous. They're nicely made. They eject well, as we were saying about the cases. Now, when I was at Churchill's, I did notice a few people having problems where they come apart, where the case meets the brass, and they were having to fish them out of the guns. Not a brand that I've got here, but these hulls are, and we're going to get these. We'll fire a few at the pattern. We'll pattern this gun. We'll fire a few of these at the pattern plate. But for hitting power at the clay range, I've hit long birds that are long enough for the 12. And this 410's reached out there and bust them well. Great. Oh, we've got these noble spades. Now these are quite good. What I've seemed to have noticed with the 410 is the speeds. I come to this gun from my 12 gauge and I shot the hulls. I shot the gun no different than I shot my 12. I didn't see any differences in lead, I just shot it. I shot my hulls, couldn't get anything else. I had some Fioccis, they were plastic ones. The shoots that I was shooting, local clubs, fibre wads only. So the Fioccis had to stay at home, and I got some of these. I also got my least favourite, the Game Ball. Now, Game Ball make fantastic cartridges as a rule. Some of the best in the world. But these, I perceive or a noticeable difference in lead, speed. The speed's not there. The kills aren't bad on close stuff, and if the lead's where I expect, or if I shot them all the time, possibly. But yeah, very disappointed with those. Same goes for these. A little bit more inconsistent. The Lavale. Yeah, not as impressed. These particular ones are 5, 16 grams of 5 for the game. Not as good killing power for clays or quarry. So the standout cartridges, the Hull, high pheasant. Now I haven't seen these in 8s, but I think they might be doing them in an 8 with slightly different branding, but absolutely fantastic. Fibre wad, I can shoot them anywhere, I can shoot them at the clays, I can shoot game. Expensive. They're not the cheapest, they are the best. When it comes to plastic wads, the Fioccis. So that's the ammunition, and I think possibly more so than the 12 gauge, ammunition is quite an important thing with this gun. The load that you're shooting, the shot size. Yes, what else would you say? And mindset. We've got a 410. We've got a 410. It's a beautiful gun to carry. To walk through the field with a sub gauge and your dog and your daughter or whoever you're with, good company, let's put it that way. These are an absolutely delight. An absolute delight. So easy to carry. If you're going up a big hill, maybe at Gwaseni or somewhere like that, on a walked up day like I have done recently. 410, dead easy to carry. Pocket full of cartridges. I have 50 cartridges in my pocket. Takes up a lot less room than 12. There are advantages, and the satisfaction. A well shot clay or a well shot bird that you've hunted with the 410. Satisfaction, a job well done. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so of a boyhood dream, I suppose, to own a really nice 410. I've treated myself, I've not been disappointed. We've been and shot the championship at Churchill's with it. I shoot my local clay grounds with it. Shot some registered shoots with it. Yeah, glad I bought it. Will my daughter be shooting this? Yeah, maybe when she's about 14 possibly. Dad's not using it, but she'll get her own 410 when she's ready, which she isn't. She's got a lot to learn, safety and all that. But there is the Beretta 686 Silver Pigeon 1 Sporting. It's a pleasure to own, can't recommend it enough. Like I say, there's other guns out there. You might not be a Beretta fan. You might love Brownings or whatever brand it is. But the 410, I'm going to say, the best gauge of a shotgun. Love 410s. 686 Beretta is the better, is the worse. Oh yeah, in both sets of the word. But an absolutely beautiful, well-made gun that I'm going to enjoy shooting. We'll go to the pattern plate, we'll pattern it. Hopefully I might get a bit of footage. Me and Maeve out shooting some game, and we'll put that in. But yeah, thanks for joining me. I think in the future, me and my daughter, this is a bit of a thing for me and my daughter really. I thought it might be nice for me and her to, we watch some videos, to make his own video. I thought I'd start with this review and see how we went with the comments and my daughter's privacy, but we like fly fishing and hunting and shooting clays and being outdoors, so we might share some other of our adventures with you. But yeah, that's the Beretta. Thanks for joining me, and hopefully we'll see you soon.